The United States is facing an unprecedented crisis in its skies. For the first time in modern history, the entire aviation system is teetering on the edge of collapse, and the ripple effects are being felt in every corner of the country. Airports that once bustled with the energy of travelers are now filled with uncertainty and anxiety, as the nation's air travel grinds to a near standstill. A record-breaking federal government shutdown has stretched into its 40th day, turning a political standoff into a national travel meltdown. The halls of government are empty, and the effects of this impasse are no longer confined to Washington. They are now disrupting the daily lives of millions of Americans who depend on air travel for work, family, and emergencies. Flights are canceled by the thousands, delays stretch for hours, and the system that keeps planes flying safely is under immense strain. Passengers are stranded in terminals, some sleeping on the floor, while others desperately try to rebook flights that may never leave the ground. The sense of frustration and helplessness is palpable. The root of this chaos, a funding impasse over the Affordable Care Act, has forced essential federal employees, like air traffic controllers and TSA agents, to work without pay. These dedicated professionals are the backbone of the aviation system, yet they are now being asked to shoulder an impossible burden, balancing their duty to the public with the stress of not knowing when their next paycheck will come. With each passing day, the aviation system grows more fragile, threatening to grind air travel to a halt. The absence of adequate staffing and resources means that even minor issues can quickly escalate into major crises, putting the entire network at risk. The Federal Aviation Administration is now slashing the number of flights to prevent disaster, upending travel plans for millions. Airlines are forced to make difficult decisions, prioritizing only the most essential routes, while countless travelers are left with no way to reach their destinations. This is no longer just a political debate, it's a direct threat to the safety and reliability of American aviation. The consequences are real and immediate, affecting not just travelers, but also the economy, businesses, and families across the nation. The impact is visible at every major airport, felt by every passenger, and carried by every federal worker on the job without pay. The stress and fatigue are mounting, and morale is at an all-time low as workers struggle to keep the system running under impossible conditions. The warnings from transportation officials are clear. The situation worsens daily. Each new day without a resolution brings greater risk, and the possibility of a total shutdown looms ever closer. The shutdown is no longer abstract. It's the reason your flight may never take off. For millions, the reality of this crisis is now impossible to ignore, as the nation's skies grow quieter and the future of American air travel hangs in the balance. The numbers reveal the scale of the crisis, but behind every statistic is a personal story of frustration and disappointment. The chaos unfolding at airports across the country is more than just a logistical nightmare. It's a human one, too. Just last Friday, over 1,800 flights were canceled and nearly 5,700 delayed, stranding millions of travelers in terminals far from home. Families missed reunions, business deals were put on hold, and vacations evaporated in an instant. Since the shutdown began, more than 3.5 million passengers have faced chaos at airports nationwide. The ripple effects are felt everywhere, from missed connections to lost luggage, and from sleepless nights to mounting expenses. Major hubs like Newark, LaGuardia, Chicago O'Hare, and Atlanta are epicenters of frustration, with delays averaging 4 hours in some places. These airports, usually models of efficiency, have become bottlenecks of anxiety and confusion. The FAA has ordered systematic flight reductions at 40 of the nation's busiest airports, cuts that could reach 10% by next week. The skies are less crowded, but the terminals are more tense than ever. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford insists safety comes first, but these reductions are the direct cause of widespread cancellations. The agency faces impossible choices, balancing public safety with the demands of a nation on the move. For travelers, it's a nightmare. Confirmed flights vanish, layovers become overnight ordeals, and departure boards are seas of red. People try to sleep on benches, clutching their bags, hoping for good news that rarely comes. The system is being deliberately slowed to keep it safe, but for millions, that means their travel plans are simply erased. The uncertainty is exhausting, and the sense of helplessness grows with every passing hour. This is the tangible, costly result of political failure. Every canceled flight is a reminder that real people pay the price for government gridlock, sometimes in dollars, sometimes in lost time, always in stress. The reality: your trip is at the mercy of a government deadlock. No matter how carefully you planned, your journey now depends on forces far beyond your control. For now, the only certainty is uncertainty. Travelers wait, hope, and wonder when, if ever, they'll finally get to their destinations. Air traffic controllers are the backbone of the entire aviation system, guiding thousands of flights safely through crowded skies every single day. Their work is high stakes, requiring intense concentration, quick decision-making, and unwavering focus. And right now, they're at their breaking point, facing pressures unlike anything they've experienced before. Required to work without pay, many are enduring grueling 6-day weeks under crushing stress, all while worrying about their families' finances and how long they can keep going. Staffing shortages are now rampant, with fewer controllers available to handle the same, or even increased workload. In just one day, 32 control facilities across the country reported being short-staffed, a number that's both alarming and unprecedented. Reports of incidents and near misses have quadrupled over last year, raising serious concerns about the safety net controllers provide. The problem isn't just in the towers you see at airports, it's at every level, from busy city approaches to high-altitude en route centers that manage cross-country flights. Some controllers, unable to survive without income or relief, are leaving the profession entirely, taking with them years of experience and expertise. Even if the shutdown ends tomorrow, recovery will be slow. Training new controllers is a complex process that takes years, not months, to complete. The current workforce is stretched to the absolute limit, and the emotional and physical toll is mounting with each passing day. Their union warns that this situation is unsustainable, and that the safety of the flying public is now at risk if nothing changes. The invisible heroes of aviation are exhausted, distracted, and pushed to the very edge of their endurance, with little relief in sight. The strain on these professionals is a direct threat to the safety of our skies, and the consequences could be felt by every traveler who boards a plane. Airlines are forced to cancel hundreds of flights daily as the FAA mandates reductions. United, American, and Southwest have all slashed schedules, with United offering full refunds, even on non-refundable tickets. If your flight is canceled, you're legally entitled to a cash refund, not just a voucher. But airlines aren't required to cover hotel or meal costs for delays caused by FAA ground stops, leaving travelers with unexpected expenses. Carriers are scrambling to adjust schedules and manage a flood of anxious customers, but their hands are tied. The crisis is a logistical nightmare for airlines and a financial blow for passengers. As long as the shutdown continues, cancellations will keep coming. In Washington, the blame game rages on as the shutdown enters its 40th day. Republicans blame Democrats for refusing to compromise on healthcare funding. Democrats accuse Republicans of causing chaos and walking away from negotiations. Senate leaders dismiss each other's proposals, and the legislative process is at a standstill. Both sides are more focused on political points than solutions. While politicians argue, the country suffers. Travelers stranded, federal workers unpaid. The statements from both parties offer little hope for a quick resolution. The political stalemate is a distant soundtrack to a crisis that's only getting worse. The timing couldn't be worse. Thanksgiving is just over 2 weeks away, and the busiest travel period of the year is in jeopardy. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns that if the shutdown continues, air travel could slow to a trickle before the holiday. Deeper flight cuts are looming as more controllers can't report for work, with reductions possibly reaching 20%. The result: mass cancellations, packed terminals, and families separated for the holiday. The joy of Thanksgiving could be replaced by stress and disappointment for millions. There aren't enough seats to rebook everyone. Many will simply miss out. This looming disaster adds urgency to the political stalemate, threatening a core American tradition. The question: will leaders act in time, or will Thanksgiving be remembered for chaos and failure? The stakes have never been higher. Behind the numbers are real people facing heartbreak and impossible choices. Travelers are missing weddings, funerals, job interviews, and even critical medical procedures. One woman, scheduled for cancer surgery, now faces a grueling 12-hour drive instead of a flight. Grandparents miss meeting newborns, students are stranded, and soldiers can't get home on leave. For every canceled flight, there's a chain reaction of disappointment and loss. The emotional toll is visible in crowded terminals, where hope fades with every update. The crisis ripples outward, hurting not just travelers, but the entire economy. National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett warns the damage could trigger a downturn in GDP. The shutdown's impact extends to other essential services, like food assistance for millions. These stories are a stark reminder. This is more than inconvenience. It's a national emergency. If you have a flight booked, be proactive. Check your flight status constantly, starting 24 hours before departure. Sign up for alerts, know your rights. If your flight is canceled, you're entitled to a cash refund. Consider booking a refundable backup flight if your trip is essential. Use a credit card for travel purchases. Many offer insurance for delays or cancellations. Have a plan B, or even a plan C. Consider driving or taking a train if possible. If you're flying for Thanksgiving, talk with your family about the real possibility of not making it. Pack patience, snacks, and a charger. Long waits and frustration are likely. Preparation is your best defense in this chaotic time. This crisis is a warning. Essential government functions are breaking down, and the effects ripple through every part of American life. The aviation system is a cornerstone of the economy. When it falters, everyone feels it. The shutdown threatens not just travel, but the broader economy, from small businesses to holiday shopping. The longer it lasts, the deeper the damage. This is a wake-up call about the fragility of systems we take for granted. Stable, funded government isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. The sight of stranded families should transcend politics and demand action. The immediate priority: end the shutdown, restore stability, and get America moving again.